Yeah, so I wanted to make this video kind of to talk about records and why I like collecting records. So, to start with, I guess, I'm a musician, I'm a music lover, I play a lot of music, I write a lot of music, um, and so I was kind of always captivated by music in general. And then the thing about records is they are a format of kind of history, right? You know, like we call them records because they are recordings from some kind of event that took place at some kind of point in time. And I think it's really neat to kind of see what is physically available in terms of a record of a moment in time and space, and when it comes to music. So the thing I really like about finding records is kind of going off into like antique stores or thrift stores in my local area and just seeing what is physically available, what is really out there, what did people consume and then kind of either put back or give away or lose. And to like have that physical thing as opposed to the digital thing is kind of, for me, really mind-boggling. And I look at it like this physical representation of music. You know, these records will outlast me, and I think that's really neat. And so I kind of think about it kind of like I guess how most people probably think about book collecting, or going to neat bookstores and seeing what kind of old books are lying around, and these are the old music records lying around. You know, I don't do a lot of buying online. I mostly get all of my records in my area. So that's pretty cool. And I've over time, I've been kind of gifted records by my friends and family, and then I've had some cool stories where I happened upon some records, and I always kind of cherish those events, you know, of like this person gave me, you know, whatever it happens to be, AC/DC, you know, Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin record, or finding a whole bunch of records of Aerosmith or whatever it happens to be inside of a industrial dumpster, and realizing like these are historical records, you know, these are moments captured in time and space put into the physical world. So that's kind of what excites me. That's really what excites me a lot about records. You know, I don't get too in-depth into the pressing plants and looking in the dead wax and try to figure out if it's a first press or a reissue, because in the end, I really do just love music, and I like to kind of analyze like what kind of music was coming out in the 70s or the 80s, or the 60s, or, you know, before that. So yeah, that's why I really just like collecting records, and I like sharing music with people. So that's kind of why I made this channel, mostly really to kind of share my music collection with people, and my love of records, my enjoyment of them. So yeah, some updates. I just recently got this Akai APB21 turntable off of Facebook Marketplace. So thank you, Tim. I went to this guy's house, and he was pretty much living inside of a museum of record players, and really cool speaker cabinets, he had some really nice setups, and he was um, nice enough to show me how this thing worked and what I could do to kind of set it up if I ever needed to troubleshoot anything. Um, yeah, so that's pretty cool. I was using a General Electric Swingmate little suitcase player from like the early 70s, and it was good. It got me by, you know. I had at that time probably 200, close to like 250 records, and I probably have like a little bit more than that now, but um, it could play mono and stereo records, but it was all being pumped out of one speaker, and so I was losing kind of a lot of quality. And I didn't really realize it at the time because I was just really enjoying uh, finding these records and listening to them. But I went and picked up this turntable, and I realized that it doesn't have a preamp, so I was gonna need to get a preamp and then also pass that off to an amplifier type of device. So I found this JVC receiver in an antique store, and I got this thing for like 30 bucks. 30 bucks for this JVC receiver, which is wild. It is a hardcore piece of equipment for sure. And so I was able to pass the signal from the turntable to the receiver, and then I found these like Panasonic wall kind of speakers. They're kind of similar to, I guess, like what you might consider bookshelf speakers, right? And they're vintage. They've got wooden sides and everything. And I got the pair for 30 bucks. So 30 bucks for the speakers, 30 bucks for the receiver. I bought the Akai for 150, right? So I got this decent little vintage setup going. And yeah, I had to strip some wires to make it kind of work and do what I had to do, because the inputs into the speakers are RCA, but they are being fed essentially auxiliary cord, RCA auxiliary cord that I went and I stripped to turn into kind of some makeshift speaker wire, and it works. You know, these don't require too much power, and I listened to a record on this setup. I was blown away. You know, now I'm listening to things in stereo, essentially high fidelity, comparative to what I was coming from my little suitcase player. So I'm super satisfied, like absolutely satisfied right now. I don't really see any reason why I would need to upgrade anytime soon. Yeah, so that all that to say, if you want to get into records and listening to records, I do recommend like a decent turntable. The suitcase players just don't cut it, especially with our ability to listen to high fidelity sound through streaming services, or the internet, or downloading, you know, digital audio files. If you really want to listen to the music on the records, get a stereo system. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I wanted to update people about what this channel is about. This is my passion. I love music, and I love sharing music. So, all right, peace.